Morning, lovely people. How's everyone doing today? Okay, as requested and as promised, today, because I have an order for sourdough bread, I'm actually going to take you through the process of making the sourdough. Now, sourdough bread, why is it called sourdough bread? What's the difference with that? The difference is it's made with live yeast as compared to instant yeast. So what is live yeast? I think I've showed you before. This is my starter. We call it the starter. Yeah. This is my live factory of real live yeast. Let me show you what's inside. I don't know if you can hear this. When I open it, there might be a little... Oh, okay. Now you can hear it. Let me show you. Let me take you in here. Can you see? That's alive. This baby is about, can you see? No, once I did that, it kind of, okay, never mind that. It's alive, it's yeast. This one has been alive for a year. Now, how did I learn to make this? I learned, let me close it first. Maya, do you mind putting it down a little bit? I'm just making a video on the yeast. Maya's watching her videos. Okay, so I learned, I experimented, I failed. I experimented, I failed a lot in, not really. Maya, could you turn it down a little bit, please? Okay, so when I experimented making this, I was trying out, and okay, I failed about 2-3 times. And I feel that all the videos, or everything that you can learn on the internet, no, not one video actually tells you the whole truth. What I'm saying, I'm not saying that they're lying, but I'm saying everyone has their own method. So today I'm going to show you something that worked for me. And why it worked for me, and why didn't they show it in their videos? Okay, here's the thing. Here's a few things to note. Flour, dough, yeast, making anything breadish really depends on your climate, temperature, your room temperature. So I'm assuming most of these videos are made in Western countries, because they always say put the starter, the sourdough, in the oven to keep it warm, because that's how yeast likes to grow. We don't need to do that here. We're lucky, just leave it out. So all these little things made made the difference. And excuse me, I'm burping. And so today I'm going to show you the easiest. I think even primary kid can do it, because I've debunked all the myths, all the, and sourdough has become so fashionable. People are like, oh, don't do this, oh, don't do that. While that has some truth in it, I think some are unnecessary or just too wish-wash. Hang on, I'm gonna get a piece of cloth on standby. Okay. Right, so let's just get to it. Now, when you do your research online and they say what flour to use, bear in mind also the types of flour in our country that's available is different from what's available over there. So today I'm going to show you what works for me, okay? What doesn't work is the all-purpose flour, I feel. It can, but it's very slow, and it's not a strong product. What works for me is this. I only feed this, can you see? This organic, I know it's upside down, but it's Radiant Whole Food Organic Rye Flour. I buy this, you can get it online on Lazada. You can get it at Bangsa Village, that's where I go because it's near my house. Yeah, and it's about 7, it depends, yeah. Lazada sells it for 6.90, 7. It's about, let's just call it 8 ringgit, 7 ringgit a pack. So this is what I use. Now, in other videos, they will tell you, let me take this one. And in a lot of other videos, other tutorials that I've learned from, they will tell you when it gets this much, you need to throw some out and then feed it. The ratio of feeding it, all you need to remember is 1, 1, 1. What does that mean? One portion of existing sourdough, one portion. So when they say one portion, I mean if you have this much of the existing sourdough, then you put this much of flour and you put this much of water. So 1, 1, 1. Now, no one says that one has to be 1 cup or quarter cup. It is 1, 1, 1. It could be this one, this one, this one. So just remember 1, 1, 1. But what I have discovered, again, me being me, I don't like to waste because I'm feeding with really good flour, and to keep throwing away, which I used to do for the first 6 months, discard, I found it really wasting. So a little tip for you, and it really works, and it doesn't matter. You see this baby here? When it's time to feed it later on, and I'll show you, I'm not going to discard anything. Instead, once your sourdough has matured, like mine has, every time I feed it, I just feed it 2 cups. Well, not this cup. This is a third of a cup, and I'm using this just to show you we're gonna make one from scratch. But I just feed it whatever amount of flour that I have left or I feel it needs, and you will learn this through time, yeah. So I usually feed it about 2 cups, yeah. Even to this much, I'm going to put 2 cups of flour, 2 cups water, stir it, dump it back in the fridge. There, so no wastage. This baby here, this other Tupperware, let me see if I can show you. Ooh, that's my sourdough. Ooh, and it smells. Okay, how it's supposed to smell? Vinegary. I don't know, it has that yeast, vinegary smell. Alan, from a layman's point of view, would you give this a smell and describe how it smells? No, okay, he just woke up. So it smells very vinegary, very pungent smell. And that's what it's supposed to smell like. That gives your bread that flavor. Yeast is also the rising agent in baking. So, now where was I? Mumbling. Let's just get to it, okay? We're going to make starters. In Danish, Denmark, they call it starter. Yeast, whatever you want to call it, the sourdough, we're going to make it from scratch. We're going to grow one, okay? And most other videos would show you, okay, today this, da-da-da-da-da, tomorrow you do this. So I'll try to do that as well. Like I said, I'm doing this for the pure entertainment and sharing knowledge during the movement control. So I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not going to cut and paste my videos unless, Michael, you want to do it for me again. But okay, let's just get to it. Now, I'm going to use this cup. Like I said, whatever measuring method or equipment you use, 1, 1, 1. Can we all say that together? 1, 1, 1. That's all you need to know. So this is, yeah, I can't see because of the glaring. This is 1/3 of a cup because it's also worn out. 1/4. Yeah, this is 1/4 of a cup, which is kind of like 1 tablespoon, right? So for today's purpose, I'm going to use a tablespoon. Why? Because I want to show you what 1, 1, 1 means. So let's put, now, because you cannot, you can take a heap spoon of flour. I could go, whoops, I could go like this much on the flour, but I can't do that with water, can I? So we're going to basically, you can't see here, but it is kind of a level 1, okay? And again, what I mean by 1, 1, 1 here. So if I put 1 in here, it's a bit too little. So we're gonna go for 2 tablespoons, 2 flat tablespoons, yeah? Not heaped, because you can't do that with water. There we go. Not so heaped, okay? So 2 in there. And then when you start, of course, there isn't the third one. So it's just 1 and 1. Now, ooh, too hot. In terms of the water temperature, hang on, let me mix this up. Because it was too hot. Now, In terms of the water temperature, it cannot be too hot. You will kill the yeast. If you don't have the perfect temperature, it's better to go with room temperature. But the ideal temperature, so I'm going to mix it. The ideal temperature would be a baby's milk bottle temperature. So what I'm saying is, if it's too hot to give it to your baby, like you put your finger in and you think a baby is going to be too hot for that baby's drink, then it's too hot for your yeast. Okay, so I've got the perfect temperature here. So what we're going to do, watch me. Now we have 2 tablespoons of flour, correct? Organic rye flour. I find that my yeast thrives and love rye flour. They're pampered that way. So when you find a flour that your yeast likes, stick to it. Don't change. Okay, so 2 tablespoons. So that's 1. And then I'm going to go 2 tablespoons of water. So that's 1. The same ratio basically. And you're going to mix it up. Now, again, don't be... what I like to mix it up with actually is a butter knife, because I find that a spoon doesn't quite do it. Doesn't get to the end, the edges, you know. Now, okay, here's what's happened. It's a little bit too dry for my liking. Okay, so I'm going to add just a bit more water, because maybe that one was just a bit, like half a tablespoon, and that's it. Mix it up. I'm sweating again. Yeah, it's very hot in this area of my house, so that's why I'm constantly sweating when I'm making all these videos. So that I want to show you, because I'm using rye flour, which is kind of a more dense flour. Woo! Can you see? It's like, whoop, it's like a paste. It's pasty. Don't worry, this paste is going to get liquidy. Okay, so we've done that. What now? So 1-1, right? You have to use a glass jar or plastic, because I ran out of glass jars. Plastic is fine, but it has to have a lid. Okay, now again, we're going to close it just like that. Okay, in the videos or in the tutorials that I learned from, they all said just leave it like that, don't tap it. Now, while I agree, because what's going to happen is gas is going to start to form, so you don't want it to go and your glass breaks. In reality, that doesn't happen, because you're using a glass jar. It's quite strong. The gas is not strong enough to make the glass explode. And because we have fruit flies here, maybe they don't have it over there. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, don't just leave it like that. You might find fruit flies going in. Don't close it so tight that you need a man to open it for you later. Just put it on and little twist. And there you go. So you're going to leave this, like I'm going to leave it just over there. Okay, normally we don't have this light on. So just leave it on the kitchen table, and you are going to feed this once a day. And there'll come a point where you will know your own baby. You will find that, okay, when you feed it, so tomorrow I'm going to put another 1-1-1, okay? And what's going to happen is you will notice in the third, even second day, third day, just say after feeding you have this much. What's going to happen, it's going to rise. You're going to see it rise, and then you're going to see it fall back down. Then you feed it, it's going to rise, and it's going to fall. That's what the yeast does. It rises, and then there's a fall. When I started, I used to like to monitor my yeast, monitoring them. I would put, and you can do this because it's good for a start. Mine's a bit clumpy again because I'm using rye flour. If you use wholemeal flour, it's going to act differently. If you use white flour, it's going to act differently. Go experiment, try different types of flour, okay? So I would put a little label here, or take a marker pen, so that when it grows, you get so excited, you're like, oh, it's growing, you can see it. Otherwise, you really won't notice the rise and fall, but it does rise up, fall down. Not in the first day, second, third day. So I want to grow this together with you. Tomorrow we'll come back and we're going to feed. So we're going to put another 2 tablespoons water. And what does that mean? So here's where it becomes 1, 1, 1. There's already 2 tablespoons in here, right? So that's the first one. Then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of new flour. That's the second one. And 2 tablespoons of water. That's the third one. So 1, 1, 1, that's the ratio. Alright guys, hope you enjoy and good luck with starting your own starter and growing your own yeast farm.